Okay. One of the other books that I brought along that's been a favorite of mine since I first discovered it is called The Confederacy of Dunces. And it's set in New Orleans. It's a Pulitzer Prize winning novel, and it's extraordinarily entertaining. So I thought maybe I'd just read the first few pages from it just to give you an idea of what the story is about and hopefully interest you in reading it as well if you haven't. It says, a green hunting cap squeezed the top of the fleshy balloon of a head. The green ear flaps, full of large ears and uncut hair, and the fine bristles that grew in the ears themselves, stuck out on either side like turn signals indicating two directions at once. Full, pursed lips protruded beneath the bushy black mustache, and at their corners sank into little folds filled with disapproval and potato chip crumbs. In the shadow, under the green visor of the cap, Ignatius J. Riley's supercilious blue and yellow eyes looked down upon the other people waiting under the clock at the D.H. Holmes department store, studying the crowd of people for signs of bad taste in dress. Several of the outfits Ignatius noticed were new enough and expensive enough to be properly considered offenses against taste and decency. Possession of anything new or expensive only reflected a person's lack of theology and geometry. It could even cast doubts upon one's soul. Ignatius himself was dressed comfortably and simply. The hunting cap prevented head colds, the voluminous tweed trousers were durable and permitted unusually free locomotion. Their pleats and nooks contained pockets of warm, stale air that soothed Ignatius. The plaid flannel shirt made a jacket unnecessary, while the muffler guarded exposed Riley's skin between ear flap and collar. The outfit was acceptable by any theological or geometrical standards, however abstruse, and suggested a rich inner life. Shifting from one hip to the other, in his lumbering fashion, Ignatius sent waves of flesh rippling beneath the tweed and flannel, waves that broke upon buttons and seams. Thus rearranged, he contemplated the long while that he had been waiting for his mother. Principally, he considered the discomfort he was beginning to feel. It seems as if his whole being was ready to burst from his swollen suede desert boots, and as if to verify this, Ignatius turned his singular eyes towards his feet. The feet did indeed look swollen. He was prepared to offer the sight of those bulging boots to his mother as evidence of her thoughtlessness. Looking up, he saw the sun beginning to descend over the Mississippi at the foot of Canal Street. The Holmes clock said almost 5. Already he was polishing a few carefully worded accusations designed to reduce his mother to repentance or at least confusion. He often had to keep her in her place. She had driven him down in the old Plymouth, and while she was at the doctor's seeing about her arthritis, Ignatius had bought some sheet music at Orleans for his trumpet and a new string for his lute. Then he had wandered into the Penny Arcade on Royal Street to see whether any new games had been installed. He had been disappointed to find the miniature mechanical baseball game gone. Perhaps it was only being repaired. The last time he had played, if the batter would not work, and after some argument, the management had returned his nickel, even though the Penny Arcade people had been base enough to suggest that Ignatius had himself broken the baseball machine by kicking it. Concentrating upon the fate of the miniature baseball machine, Ignatius detached his being from the physical reality of Canal Street and the people around him, and therefore did not notice the two eyes that were hungrily watching him from behind one of the store's pillars. Two sad eyes shining with hope and desire. Was it possible to repair the machine in New Orleans? Probably so. However, it might have been sent to some place like Milwaukee or Chicago, or some other city whose name Ignatius associated with efficient repair shops and permanently smoking factories. Ignatius hoped that the baseball game was being carefully handled in shipment, and that none of its little players was being chipped or maimed by brutal railroad employees determined to ruin the railroad forever with damage claims from shippers, railroad employees who would subsequently go on strike and destroy the Illinois Central. As Ignatius was considering the delight which the little baseball game afforded humanity, the two sad, covetous eyes moved towards him through the crowd like torpedoes zeroing in on a great woolly tanker. The policeman plucked at Ignatius' bag of sheet music. "You got any identification, mister?" the policeman asked in a voice that hoped that Ignatius was officially unidentified. "What?" Ignatius looked down upon the badge on the blue cap. "Who are you?" "Let me see your driver's license." "I don't drive. Will you kindly go away? I'm waiting for my mother." "What's that hanging out of your bag?" "What do you think it is, stupid? It's a string for my lute." "What's that?" The policeman drew back a little. "Are you local? Is this part of the police department to harass me when this city is a flagrant vice capital of the civilized world?" Ignatius bellowed over the crowd in front of the store. "This city is famous for its gamblers, prostitutes, exhibitionists, antichrists, alcoholics, sodomites, drug addicts, fetishists, pornographers, fraud, jade litterbugs, lesbians, all of whom are only too well protected by graft. If you have a moment, I shall endeavor to discuss the crime problem with you, but don't make the mistake of bothering me." The policeman grabbed Ignatius by the arm and was struck on his cap with the sheet music. The dangling lute string whipped him on the ear. "Hey," the policeman said. "Take that," Ignatius cried, noticing that a circle of interested shoppers was beginning to form. Inside the store, Mrs. Riley was in the bakery department, pressing her maternal breast against a glass case of macaroons. With one of her fingers, chafed from many years of scrubbing her son's mammoth yellow drawers, she tapped on the glass case to attract the sales lady. I know, that's how the story starts out. And it creates this huge cast of strange and hilarious characters, and it's a really wonderful story. So I hope you check into it.
All right, we're going to break, and we'll be back with Malcolm.